Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Seat Time. Um, just got back from Hampton Down, driving and practicing in the Star Insurance BRZ. We are only a few days away flying up to Japan. Jax is in Christchurch, so I'll be doing the filming and editing myself for this episode. Don't expect anything too flash. I'll try and do my best as I can. I'm not a real videographer. So in this episode, I'll be doing a bit of talking. Sorry about that, but it's going to be a prediction on the day, which I think is quite interesting for you guys to know, and also what I'm expecting and what's going to happen. Firstly, I think I need to emphasize this point. The GR86 that we're driving, it's actually a road car. It's not a race car. Meaning it's not going to be shipped out. It's not going to be licensed. The car will be legally and it can be registered to go on the road, even in Japan or New Zealand. Like the car's actually road legal. When I say it's a road car, full trim, I'm meaning it's going to be full interior, the airbags and stuff are still in, the AC is still there, and also the full HKS build catalog will be installed on the car. Things like the front splitter, the wide body, the oversized spoiler, and the spoiler mount, all these things going to be adding weight to the car. So the car's actually not that light as you think. Also, by now, if you have been watching and following the last few episodes, you should know, or we should already let you know, that we have a quite sequential gearbox installed as well, which the gearbox is slightly heavier than a stock gearbox, being a stronger box, bigger gear. If the car, say, is 1270 to 1280 kg dry, my estimate of the car will be at least 1340 to 1350 dry. That's without me in it, because the turbo kit's going to add weight, the wide body's going to add weight, the spoiler, the front splitter, the gearbox, all of that's going to add weight to the car. So this will be, I would think it's going to be 300 kg heavier than this GR86 Performer Time Attack car. We have to prove a point, like how fast can a catalog car can go without any fine tuning and a non-professional driver and a first time driving this track, which is Tsukuba. That will relate to if someone bought a car like this, put all the parts on, put it on the track, it should roughly do that similar time, you know, like if you have a professional driving, a local driving, that track, of course, going to be a lot faster. For me, I do drive a bit, but I'm no professional. I just like driving, I like tuning cars. That's pretty much what my life is about. So it's a dream to go there to drive this track. Also, you might think, why would I buy this car and not send my car over from New Zealand? The cost it's there. Like the logistics, sending your car to Japan, finding a workshop, finding a workshop, leaving your car there, sending mechanics and stuff over. It's not going to be that affordable, or it's not going to be cheap. I mean, this buying this car and racing in Japan is also not cheap, but it's still cheaper. At least we only send the car one way instead of two way, so that will save 5 or 6 grand, like NZD already. Plus, finding a shop that's willing to work on your car in Japan, it's not going to be easy. That's why we bought this car in Japan. Get HKS to build it. They have the data. Let them run the car and go with it. a lot of people say this is silly. You know, why you build car yourself. Why don't you send the car there? We looked into that a lot of years ago. It's not that easy as you think. Also, I think they don't recognize the credit when you send a car from overseas there. Not as much as a car that built there, if it makes sense. So they say, oh, it might be, oh, you don't run the same tires. Oh, you don't run the same turbo or engine that we have in Japan. It's of course going to be different. It's of course going to be faster. But now they built the car. We've touched nothing. We're just going to go drive it and prove how fast the car's going to go. My prediction time, anything close to a minute is a win. Well, I think if I don't muck around, the car runs perfectly. 58 is achievable. That's if the car is tuned to, let's say, 1.2 bar of boost. That will probably be close to about 450 horsepower, my estimate. I don't know how much power they're going to give me or how much the car's going to make right now, but that will determine the lap time, to be honest. This track doesn't rely a lot of horsepower, but the back straight will gain you 1 or 2 seconds easily. The cornering speed, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 horsepower or 400 horsepower, the cornering speed is always going to be similar, or it comes down to the weight of the car, how late you can brake, and how much speed you can carry around the corner. So that will be interesting. If say they gave me 400 horsepower, I think the car will do a high 59s or a minute flat. I'll be happy with that, and I'm sure HKS team will be happy, especially a person that never driven this track, never driven the car, and trying to set a time on or everything in one day. So what I need to do, or what have I been doing, the sim training should be creditable. I think I've done more than 1,000 laps, and hopefully the real car is really similar to what's on sim, because I think that's going to put me off if it's not the same a little bit, because been driving and training to adapt to the game or to the sim, and close to this car right here, we'll have to see on the day. I'll just have to stay calm, stay focused, don't rush, and be patient turning in, and also on the exit, just be patient getting on the throttle. The smoother it is, the faster it is. Being patient, putting the throttle down. At the same time, I still have to get on it as soon as I can to build boost. So I have to steer with the throttle a bit. That will all depends how much grip there is in the rear tire. It's easy to say now, but once the rear mist comes down, it drops, it's gonna all change. That's the difference between a seasonal pro driver or these go-karters that been driving a lot. They don't have to think. It's just natural, it's in the muscle memory. They will just do it without thinking. But that's the difference. I think the car's going to understeer a lot, which is fine. I can deal with it, which means it's going to rely on the front tires a lot, and it's going to be really hard on it. Understeer means it struggle to turn in or to turn. The front tire will wash us out, and the front tire is gone over the friction of grip. So for it to turn, it has to slow down enough for it to turn. Due to the wide track, the scrub radius and argument won't be the best. I have watched it a lot of in-cars from Taniguchi-san driving this GR86 Performer at different stage. Even with his driving and the track experience, the car seems to still understeer on the turn-in a lot. With the GD86 platform and the GR86 platform, is pretty much the same. It runs the same arm, same suspension. So that's what we've been having problem with the V8 swap BRZ as well. It's understeers a lot on the turn-in at low speed. It will need to steer with the throttle for it to rotate. If I was to power over on the exit, it will lose a lot of time, but that's up to me to find the line between that grip and slip. Also on a shorter track, the more accurate you need to be. You can't afford to lose average speed because there is not much track or time to make up. The plan of attack on the day, we'll probably go easy on the first few laps, scrub the tyres in. We sent tyre warmers there, but we can only bake one set of tyres at a time. So we'll probably go out on a cold set, scrub it in, give it 2 laps. It should be okay. Then it's ready to attack. So might pit in after 2 or 3 laps, let it cool down, check the pressure, and go out again. With our team, we've got Kevin and Robbie on the tyres, so 2 on each side, so we don't lose too much time. Check the pressure, drop the pressure, and go out again. That will all depends on the day, how cold it is, if it's going to wet, dry, snow. We don't really know right now. Optimal will be 32 pound. I'm sure those Yokohama A050 GS compound will come on grip really quickly. That's the same tyres they've been using time attack around the world. There is not a lot to change on the spot when we pit in. Might be just damper setting and tyre pressure. The rear spoiler, they might have adjustment. I can't be sure because I haven't even seen the car. And also another thing is I'm not sure about the aero balance right now or what it's like. With that bigger spoiler in the back or oversized spoiler in the back, it's going to create a lot of drag, so we will lose top speed on the back straight. But you have to leave it on. It just looks so good. I mean, this is what the car's about. Removing the spoiler to go faster, yes it will, but it's not going to look as cool, and it's not a full package car what we're trying to test out. I don't know how many sessions we're going to get and how much check time we're gonna have, but I'll just try and do my best and make up as much as I can. Get close to the curb, but not on it. We don't want to unsettle the car. The car is, I don't think it's set up to ride curbs. Like through Dunlop Corner or turn 5, we might cut the curb a little bit, but we'll really have to see what's going to do. I don't really want to damage the car. The front splitter and stuff is quite expensive. And also I'm not sure there's going to be enough clearance for the wheels to clear the guard. I'm sure HKS, the team, has gone through all the testing and checking all the ride height and everything, so we should be good. And the rest of the corner, we'll just try to stay off the curb as we can for now, until we have to try to cut some time off. And if the data said we have to do it, then I'll do it. Just don't want to go off. The hardest corner, or about driving this track, I think it's going to be very narrow. It's going to be, watching the in-cars and sim, it always looks wider compared when you're on the actual track. Because of our GoPro lens or camera lens, always makes things wider. When you're at the track, which I know every track I've been to, it's always narrower. Finding the brake point in the turn 1 and turning in at turn 8, the last hairpin, going on the back straight. Also the last corner, those are really hard corners, I think. Especially at 8, going to the back straight, the last turn. The first corner, is important because it will start the flow. If you get the turn 1 right, your delta time is up, you will eventually get up because you have more speed already. So that will actually get the flow going. Turn 8, the last hairpin, the excess speed is critical because that will determine your speed onto the back straight and how much speed you get to the back straight. If you get a good corner exit out there, you might be 5k's up, and then you're 5k's faster going into the last turn. The last corner is quite hard. Like right now, there's 2 different styles to take it. You know, the traditional line is just hop the inside, ride the curb, and then let it run wide on exit. Or do we go with the new style, or how you drive a Porsche in real drive? It's like a fee. You stay in, you brake in, the car will go to a limit. You'll start understeering and then chop down to 4th, or drop the gear and then curve back into the apex. We'll probably have to try it on the day and then see how it's going to work. It's hard to say right now what we're going to do. Also, it's all about how brave you are sending into that last corner and you don't want to fall off. The barrier there is actually very close on the side of the track. If you go off, I think the car will be pretty munted after that. But yeah, until we're behind the wheel, it's going to be hard to say what's going to happen. So we have to just get there and try it out, I guess. Does this track relate to New Zealand track, or is it a mechanical grip track or aero track? To me, it doesn't. Like, this track doesn't rely on a lot of aero grip because there's a lot of low speed corners, but at the same time, it needs a lot of aero grip in the last turn and through this turn here. All those straights, fast corners will make up speed. So it's hard to say, but if the aero's too big, there will be a lot of drag on the back straight, and then you will lose the speed. But you still need that speed, or the terminal speed, for the last corner. You can go in there faster, and the car's kind of overspeed into it, but you need the aero for it to turn, if it makes sense. But if you're driving, or the setup is good, it should be just pretty smooth sailing, to be honest. And if you ask the question, does it relate to Hampton Downs on New Zealand track? Hampton Down last corner is very similar. The exit speed of the last turn at Hampton Down is critical because that's before going up the hill. So if you're 5k's out faster through the last turn, you might be 10k's up faster in the back, on top of the hill. But Hampton Down has few less corners, there's more straight, so you can get away with a low drag aero setup because you can kind of pedal it hard for that last turn. But I think for Tsukuba, the corners are slightly cambered, so it's going to be quite interesting. Well, I'm sure I've talked enough. Let's wrap it up here, and we'll see you at Tsukuba in the next episode. Thanks for watching.